For Australia, watch out for white lines in the rain. They're a bit slippery. Yeah, that's my number one advice. Hey, it's Isaac Ajar. Welcome to Oracle Strategy Series. This is your race briefing.
Welcome to the Oracle Strategy Race Briefing ahead of Melbourne Grand Prix. We're going to do things a little bit differently for this race, and we're just going to take you through the new regulations and how they're going to impact the race strategy.
So clearly a lot has changed for this year. One of the main things is that the MGUK power has basically tripled compared to the previous generation of cars. So that means you can fill up and drain your battery incredibly quickly, and it will happen several times per lap. So that gives the possibility for big differences in terms of how teams approach that, how they manage it during a lap, and that promises to be a key tactical battleground. On top of that, we've also got overtake mode now instead of DRS. So that's kind of the most similar thing to what we had previously with DRS. That's an additional tool to help with the overtaking. What that allows you to do is harvest an additional half a megajoule of energy, which you can then deploy as you wish around the lap. But it really does depend, as we saw in testing, as to whether or not you have that energy available to deploy. So there's some quite big unknowns really in terms of how overtaking is likely to play out into this season.
Obviously, we're really excited to get back racing after the winter, but as Steve's just been chatting through, there's quite a lot of unknowns, and different teams will have come up with different solutions to the problem. And obviously in race strategy for us, it's not just about what we're going to do, but what everyone else is going to do, and that directly impacts your strategy and what you should do on race day. So it's going to be very interesting to find all that. And it also means we're going to have to be really adaptable in the race, particularly in Melbourne. So having things like the Oracle Cloud technology will be extremely important, because then we can look into all these different scenarios ahead of the race and live during the race to help make sure we're making those correct decisions.
The cars have a lot less downforce this year than they did do previously, and that's one of the main things that goes into driving tyre degradation, which is kind of the primary input really in terms of what tyre strategy you're likely to follow. Again, it's a bit of an unknown at this stage, as we've only really tested on a couple of tracks, so going to somewhere like Melbourne, which is a very different characteristic to Barcelona and Bahrain, there's some big question marks on what that lower downforce does in terms of sliding degradation, so that will definitely feed into the strategy. So normally at this point we try and tell you whether we think it's going to be a one-stop or a two-stop, but genuinely right now we don't know, and we expect that's the case for everybody, so it's going to be exciting to find out how the race pans out.